I only hope that we never lose sight of two things. That it was not only started by a mouse, it was also started by a wishing star. This movie is about a 17-year-old girl named Asha who makes a passionate wish on a star in a moment of need after sensing a darkness in the kingdom of Rosas that no one else does. And given away from the premise of this movie is meant to commemorate Disney's 100th anniversary. And by that, I mean 100 years of Walt Disney's legacy, with a fascinating theme of wishes coming true. Today, I just saw Disney's recent animated movie called Wish at my local Cinemark theater. And what do I think of it? Well, I might have to disagree with the critics on this one because this movie was magically spectacular, in my opinion. Now, here are my reasons why Disney's Wish is magically spectacular, in my opinion. One, what really caught my eye when I go see this movie is its unique yet delightful animation style, which blends in with Disney's modern 3D animation with Disney's classic watercolor features, which would remind you of some of Disney's animated classics that used watercolor paint before, especially with films like Sleeping Beauty. Second, the concept about the origin story of the wishing star, which you see in past Disney movies, sounds pretty interesting. Even if the execution is almost perfect, I'm still very fond of it no matter what people say. 3. The soundtrack is impeccably astonishing, even for a film that's made for Walt Disney Animation Studios' 100th anniversary, because it really expands the characters' purpose and identities, whether it's about a character willing to do a good deed or a villain willing to wreak havoc around the town. 4. The characters are pretty good, such as Asha, Valentino, etc. But my personal favorite character in this movie is Star, because Star really carries the whole entire movie in its entirety. Which you can say that Star is indeed a star. No pun intended. 5. The voice acting is well done as usual, such as Ariana DeBose as Asha, Chris Pine as King Magnifico, which I'll talk about the villain in the next reason, Ellen Tudyk as Valentino, and etc. 6. Now, me personally, King Magnifico is a surprisingly interesting villain because, in terms of his nefarious motivations, him being a proper, toxic, and irredeemable villain is pretty refreshing because that's what this recent era of Walt Disney Animation Studios has been lacking lately, since we only have half baked twist villains, especially with films like Frozen. Thanks a lot, Hans. 7. This movie has tons of nostalgic, yet breathtaking callbacks to Disney's classic and recent animated movies from the golden era to the revival era. And the references, Easter eggs, and the end credits really shows it. 8. The backgrounds and settings, specifically the Kingdom of Rosas, look visually beautiful. And believe it or not, the blue skies, night skies, and the clouds are actually drawn in traditional animation, which is what the animation itself has, while still being technically 3D animated. 9. The third act is so good. What makes the third act so engaging is that after when Magnifico killed Star and made Asha feel weak, Asha, her friends, and everyone in Rosas stood up for themselves in a reprise of This Wish as a way to revive Star, and then Magnifico got sucked into his evil wand. And 10, last but not least, the humor is pretty solid and chuckle worthy. One example that I'd like to use is the chicken dance scene, all because of Star's magic, and Valentino was a conductor that helps the chickens dance like they're in some kind of Broadway show. So yeah. Now before I wrap up my review for this movie, do I have any criticisms for this movie? Well, I only have one, which is mildly constructive. I personally think that in the opening logos before the Disney 100 logo shows up, it could have shown a brief yet honorific history of all of the old Disney logos from the past to the present, and then cue the Disney 100 logo because this is basically an animated movie that's intended to celebrate Disney's 100th anniversary. But regardless, I still love the new Disney logo so much, and the positives outweigh more than the negatives. Overall, everyone, Disney's Wish is magically spectacular. This is a great way to send off Disney's 100th anniversary, in my opinion, no matter what people say. It really has something special for everyone, including Disney fans of all ages. I enjoyed it a lot. I really recommend it from my point of view, especially towards Walt Disney Animation Studios fans. Just ignore what the just ignore what the critics say about this movie. Just ignore them. They're trying to act like this movie is the next Home on the Range when it isn't, when it is not. So yeah. Now without further ado, let's get into my rating, shall we? I give Disney's Wish a 9 out of 10. So yeah, everyone, this concludes my review on Disney's recent animated movie, Wish. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my last two upcoming reviews of this year, which are Diary of a Wimpy Kid Christmas, Cabin Fever, and last but not least, Illuminations Migration. So yeah, thanks for watching, and keep on wishing!